Welcome back to K-Ratio's Week in Preview. I'm Kyle Littner and I'm here today to provide actionable insight for the future, not recap the past. In this week's episode, both volumes and rejections, while still high, have eased a little, bringing rates down along with them. We'll break down what that means for you this week, but first let's take a look at where the freight market currently stands. The National Outbound Tender Volume Index still rests comfortably in the mid-15,000s, though down a shade under 2% from last week. Still, the current reading of 15,155 is the highest non-holiday reading since August 18th and significantly higher than anything seen any other year. When tenders are this high, we can expect national tender rejections to remain elevated as well, and this week is no different. Though down 1.5% from last week, the current print of 24.63% keeps the streak of days above 20% since August 1st alive and well, and only 2.2% less than the high water mark for the year. Let that sink in for a minute. 1 out of every 5 tenders has been rejected for 11 straight weeks now. Any way you want to cut it, volumes and rejections remain extremely high, which leads us to extremely high rates. Also down from last week, 6 cents nonetheless, the $2.89 per mile mark as reported by TruckStop is the highest since September 6th and a full 39 cents higher than August 1st. We've talked about this situation for months and now it's come due. Both volumes and rejections have moderated while price is still remaining high. Price does not operate in a vacuum, nor do human beings. Resources and assets are allocated to the areas most in need, as is the case in any open and free market, and freight is no different. Supply and demand will always find a balance, both nationally and in each individual market, but with each passing day we find the equilibrium between the two at higher and higher prices. For further proof of this market function, we can revisit our favorite breakdown of spot versus contract as reported by DAT. Matching what we saw from TruckStop, national average spot rates fell by a penny to $2.43 a mile, but contract rates continue their ascent higher, now at $2.28 a mile. Price overall continues to reset and rebalance at higher levels, and the fact that spot maintains a double-digit spread over contract gives no indication that the present inflationary market environment has an end date anytime soon. Contract rates moving higher is a healthy positive sign for the industry and one that will continue to put downward pressure on both rejections and rates. However, when we look at U.S. consumer behavior by way of the latest retail sales report, the apparent impending resurgence of COVID positivity rates, and where we sit on the calendar, all signs point to a sustained and significant holiday season push for freight if we're not already in it. Expect robust spot market activity and elevated rates for the remainder of 2020. What does this mean for freight this week? Carriers, if I told you that we were 7 cents off the highs for reefer freight, would you believe me? I probably would not, given that it's nearly Halloween, but in 2020 this is the case. Partly due to an odd weather year, partly due to a volume surge in food and grocery stores, all here to stay as another round of panic buying is on deck. If you have a reefer trailer, you can name your price. Not to keep picking on outbound LA, but you can run to Phoenix, Las Vegas, or Salt Lake City, all for more than $4 a mile. Brokers, this is going to come into play for you guys as well. Whether you're giving back a lane or just trying to reprice it, all of those trailers out west likely won't migrate back east in time for Protect from Freeze season, so your problem is going to be less about price, but more about just finding a truck to run it. Shippers, if you don't already have a plan in place for holiday season surges in volume, now is the time to do it. Put out a 60-day mini bid to cover you to the end of the year. Otherwise, the mean old Grinch is going to come and steal your year-end bonus because you went over budget. To stay current with everything freight, follow us on LinkedIn or for more information on all of our products, including our award-winning Freight Intelligence platform so your margins don't end up where they are today, check us out at k-ratio.com. Please stay safe and thank you all for watching.